So as we had an introduction to the poem The Schoolboy in the previous class, and even we have discussed about the poet's works and a few qualities of his childhood life, the personal situations or the experiences of William Blake, that we have seen that he was a fickle-minded, that he was a fairy, wicked kind of a kid guy when he was 4 years of age. So he would experienced a few incidents in his life, and they were delivered to his parents, that he has seen angels, he has seen Ezekiel and the God's head, that is window of his house as such. So after listening to their son James Blake, his father and the mother, both parents, so they decided not to send him to school because he might be whipped by his friends as well as the people in a school premises as such. So that's why we see William Blake never had any formal basic education from his childhood as such. Till the age of 17 he was not enrolled in any of the schools for education purpose as such, because of the fear of James Blake that his son might be insulted. Maybe his classmates or the students over there in the school may whip him, may punish him, may insult him, and which may affect the character or the mindset of William Blake. So that is why they never sent him to the school to have basic or primary education in the formal atmosphere as we had, dear students. So now I think and we have also read the poem also in the previous class, and we have seen how intelligently, interestingly the poem looks, okay, and it has 6 stanzas of 5 lines each, and you can imagine the form, the structure of the poem here. See, as you see here, each stanza has 5 lines in it, and you know that the stanza, see for example, the structure, see line 1, line 2, and line 3, and line 4, and line 5. Okay, here, see the structure, the pattern, the grammatical pattern of William Blake's a skill or a creativity that he involves in his works is, see, one stanza of 5 lines, and the lines are numbered here. Then, I love to rise in a summer morn. Morn means morning. And when the birds sing on every tree, the distant huntsman winds his horn. Morn, horn. See these words. 3rd line. Horn means it's an instrument. Okay, then 2nd line, when the birds sing on every tree and the skylark sings with me. Tree, me. See here, morn, horn, tree, me. Okay, then the last line, oh, what a sweet company. And here we see the alliteration, the repetition of same spelt words is the technique called alliteration in English poetry. See, line number 1 is alliterated with mon, hon. Tree, me, e. See the vowel sound that we see, that is alliterated here. On, is alliterated here. So likewise, in almost all the stanzas have the same pattern or alliteration in the poem. See, for example, second stanza, once again, mon, warm, own, outworn. Then second line, away, day, is dismay. So there is company, me. See, also company. How? Company, ni. See this part, me. Okay. Line number 2, 4, 5 are alliterated here. Okay, then line number 2 and 4 is alliterated here, and even in second stanza you see mon, on. First and third line, isn't it? First and third line, and second and fourth line, away, day, dismay. Fifth, second, fourth, and fifth, dismay. So these two and this. So this is a kind of structure form of William Blake in his poem, especially in this poem, The Schoolboy. Okay, then let us see what's given in your book. Okay, I think we have even studied the information about the author also, a note on the poet here. Then now I want all of you to look at the text and read the pre-reading activity here, and even that was also discussed in the previous class, it seems, isn't it? Yes. So now students, page number 11, The Schoolboy by William Blake. Yes, look at the poem here. So I will go on, explain line by line and stanza by stanza, okay, and connecting the continuation of the theme in each stanza to you, and listen carefully, because the theme and the topic, the title of the poem takes us to different paths, routes or opinions when we ourselves generally deal with the schoolboy here, because everybody are familiar with this title, that is what the schoolboy here, because all of us have come out of this particular stage by now, and we all know what was the days of our school, and that is why it makes us, or it tempts us to include our own personal opinions in answers that are asked on this poem here. So that is why be careful. As I said earlier, your answers must be competitive with the instructions of the board, PU board here, because we have 4 mark questions and a single 6 mark question, where we have also given the limitation, the boundary, so by the Karnataka PU board, that 4 mark question answer should be in 80 to 100 words. It should not exceed that. When the problem arises, if you go beyond that or below 80 words, when your number marks go, above 90 marks, then the evaluator will do a strict evaluation applying all these instructions according of the board. So that is why be careful, because you have to maintain that word limit in order to maintain the time for all the questions, because you have 8 questions here answer. We have to answer 8 4-mark questions here. Yes, so you have to keep that in mind. Your answers should be to the question, not the poem which is prescribed, not the lesson which we are going to read. No, you are nowhere. You have to deal with the summary, the only summary or themes for all the questions as such. Read the question, understand it, identify the blank, trace out the situation and the people and the incident. Then you have to mold your answer to the question that is asked in the question paper. Okay, the schoolboy. Dear students, look at the poem here. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company. See here, the poem is very exciting. And even the attitude of the boys is highlighted here. How the boy feels in this poem and how his attitude towards the very environmental changes that takes place early in the morning, and what is his condition of mind when he rise up or wake up early from his bed in the morning. So what all the things that made this boy feel very happy to join the company of these natural things that are happening at the very beginning of the day, are highlighted here. And dear students, only this stanza explains us the joyous or the happiest moments of the child here, the schoolboy in this poem here. Remaining all the stanzas give us a gloomy, sad, a sorrowful incidents, behavior of the boy where he was fed up with the formal kind of education that he was forced to have during his childhood days in the school. So now, see, look at the poem here, the stanza here. The boy here, the schoolboy of William Blake in this poem here, would love to rise, to wake up early in the morning in summer season. So you might be knowing the summer season's morning, it will be a little bit calm and cold, because the sun is going to be very hot in that particular season, and it is a season of fruits. We know that many fruits bear in this particular summer, so that is why the boy would like to rise in early morning on this season here. And at the same time, the outside of his house, when he moves out to be a company of the nature, when the birds sing on every tree, the distant huntsman winds his horn, and the skylark sings with me, and what a sweet company. Yes, the boy every day in this season would like to wake up early, and he wanted to listen the birds sing on every tree. The birds sat on every trees because the trees have the fruits, because it is summer. And there were new, groups of birds chirping, eating the fruits and the flowers, honey on the trees here. And he wanted to listen that sweet song of each and every bird on the tree in this morning. The distant huntsman wings his horn. As a kid, as a boy, as a schoolboy, a small boy, he would like to hear the sound of the horn. See, usually the huntsman goes for hunt in the early morning because he has to get his morning meal there, breakfast. So the people who lives in forest areas, usually in jungles, in countrysides, so they usually go for hunting during morning time. So they have to catch the early, animals or birds for their food as such. So he will be winding his horn. The sound of the horn is quite musical, is quite melodious, that this boy would like to hear on every morning here, because it is maybe the huntsman here used to come early in the morning and he used to wind his horn. And it was a really daily habit or routine of this huntsman, which makes him to rise or to wake up early. And the skylark sings with me, and when he goes out of his house, waking up early in the morning, in the summer morning, and the skylark on the trees, and it was flying in the sky, and he expresses his desire to sing with the skylark. The skylark sings with me, he says. He is not singing with the skylark, he sings with the skylark. So, here he would like to wake up early, yes, in in summer morning, yes. The points that you can make out of this particular stanza here. And the birds sing on every tree. Would like to listen. Listen to the birds. Birds songs on every tree is, and the next one, the skylark sings with him when he goes out early in this summer morning. And at last, he expresses his emotion, a very happy, emotional, and he exclaimed that it is a sweet, good company. Is what? Sweet or a very good company for the boy here. Yes. And See, these are the important points that you can extract from the first stanza here. Okay, listen, don't confuse, and if you don't confuse and even don't worry that it will be the last one, because we will get the situation or time to discuss face to face in a very coming days as such, and it's not too far. The days are approaching faster to accompany you people inside the classroom. Okay, so these are the things, so you have to think about it. See, look at the points here, and even as I advised my students, keep one 200-page notebook, long notebook for English. Only one book is enough. I don't want you to make a burden here, because we are not going to maintain notes as such, but we are going to have such kind of training in the classroom where you need to capture, write the points which are discussed in the classroom. So with the teacher. So what you have to do, see, keep one notebook, and see, whenever your class begins, so write the time and the title, subject name, and that day's subject topic, the poem lesson as such, and then points like this. So it makes you feel easy, simple to understand, and what exactly the writers, authors, poets, novelists have written in their verse which were prescribed to us. Okay, so now is it clear, students? Have you taken down? So it's only about the first stanza here, remember, and it is the only stanza which expresses the joyous or happiest mood, mentality of the schoolboy. Okay, and take down these things. Then okay, now somehow it is the duty of anyone who deals with any work of literature or a speech or a conference, meeting, discussion, whatever. So it is the duty of introduce the concerned people, participants, listeners, gatherings, audience, spectators with a note of wish, greeting. And the poet here greeted us, greeted the readers with a happy note, a joyous introduction or beginning in this poem, The Schoolboy. Yes, as a romantic poet, William Blake deals beautifully in this poem. Then next we'll continue the second stanza here. Excuse me. But to go to school on a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. But to go to school on a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. Yes, now the problem begins. Whose problem? The problem of the schoolboy. The difficult situation of the schoolboy. The horrible situation in his life begins here in the second stanza with the going to the school is concerned here. So now, dear students, look at carefully that, but to go to school on a summer month, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. Yes. Okay, listen. Second stanza with the same structure and the form here. Once again, the alliteration. Okay. The consonantal alliteration we observe here, and the ovula or the oval sounds are alliterated here. Yes, tree, me, company, so or ended with the words which have oval assonance here. Okay. And in the same way, we have the same pattern, structure, form that William Blake has followed here. So he was quite happy, quite merry, quite joyous in the first stanza to play in the company of the nature, and to when the birds were singing around him on all the trees surrounded over there, and when a sweet melodious sound of a huntsman's horn coming, and the skylark started singing with this sweet boy, made his a company of these natural things very happier. And when we arrived in the second stanza, the very opposite inverse kind of attitude or emotions or feelings of the boys are expressed here. Okay, so see here, everybody in childhood, when the question of learning comes, when the question of education comes, must go to a place where we are going to get the teachings from the teachers. And the place is a separate one, and which is far away from our home, our house, and our relatives, father, mother, okay, everybody. So we feel alone. We are going to be alone in the a new atmosphere, a place called the school. So when the question of going to school comes to his mind, when he hears or gets an instruction from his parents that he has to go to school, so it drives all the joy away where he had it in the first stanza of the poem. So now the joy, the happiest moments of the first stanza in the beginning of the day that the boy had were gone, were lost. When the system, when the people started forcing him or compulsing him to go to school in this beautiful summer morning, drives all his joy away, drives all his happiness from his life. And the poet compares the teacher here to a cruel eye outworn. And what he has to do there? He has to sit before the teacher under a cruel eye outworn. So there is a cruel eye outworn means it is his teacher. And you know that especially in these modern days, the teachers are very strict, very disciplined on the children. They observe, look, every every aspect of or every moment of the kid or the boys in the school, and they wish their decent behavior, strict vigilance over each and every moment of all the kids or students and kids in the classroom makes these kids unhappy, bored, gloomy, sad, and with full of sorrow as such. In the same way, here the schoolboy or William Blake, he compares teacher to a cruel eye, and which is outward. And under his strict vigilance, strict administration, okay, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. So every moment that they spend in the school was with full of sighing. ನೆಟ್ಟುಸಿರು ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದರು ಬಂಧುಗಳೇ, ಸಾಕಾಗೋಗ್ತು. So they were tired with this kind of new training, teachings, and strict instructions, terms, conditions, disciplines, unnecessary disciplines, compulsions were made these boys in the school feel gloomy, feel lonely, feel exhausted, weak, tiresome as such. So that's what we see in the second stanza of this poem here. Okay, to make out the points in the second stanza, so when the question of going to school, what is that? When the question of going to school comes, school in this boy's life drives all joy away from his life. Yes, drives all joy away. Joy. And the system restricts him or instructs him to sit quietly under a cruel eye, to behave, or to sit quietly, and listen to the teacher with attention, concentration to him. So he had no right to break these terms and conditions of the so-called system called schooling. Yes. And here he compares the teacher to a cruel eye, which is outward. Why? Because he is continuously pouring series of words, loads of sentences and words which are not at all required to this kid in the classroom continuously, like me. Did it? But don't compare yourself as school students. You are not school students, kids like the schoolboy of Blake. Okay, you are far away from this situation and from this boy, the schoolboy of William Blake here, because it is the time for you to work hard, and it is the time you to shape all-round development. Okay, knowledge, personality, health, okay, everything should be molded and by you people in this particular age. So that's of course right, but don't tell or go harshly and and make what he is the only person who is cruel in the school as such, because he has to listen to the system, management, and he has to listen and follow the terms and guidelines of the governance or government and the system. That's what the system and the society also gives support to those particular terms and conditions here. It is his duty to train or to teach the child or the boys, boys in the classroom, because he was paid for that only. If he dances with children, if he plays with children inside the classroom, I don't think the teacher is going to be survived in this present context, not only in present, even during the time of William Blake. Okay, so that is one thing is there. But our education system began with Gurukula type of system, isn't it? Practice. So, Ekalavya and the old educational system was quite traditional, cultural, and it is a kind of anarchical way of conducting the classes to the students here, isn't it? The teachers, gurus, overseers, the prophets, they used to teach them under the trees, under the banyan trees and different kinds of trees in the company of nature to students here. Guru Dronacharya, how he teaches to his disciples. That is the example here. So in that way, so here the classroom type of education, training, teaching was opposed by William Blake here, because he says that it what hinders the growth of the child, it hinders the creativity of the child, it disturbs the happy and the active mind of the child. So that is what William Blake wants to say through this poem. It is this kind of message, but we'll come to know as we grow stanza by stanza, and when we conclude and you go to the end of the poem, we'll come to know what exactly he wanted to give or his message in this poem to the readers or the parents, the system, and to the children here. Yes, then sighing means it is a gesture, okay, a sound when we make when we are felt very bored, okay, and confused, okay, and tired. Even the same thing, dismay, when he was lost everything, the active thing, if he felt quite lonely. So those are the things which express the saddest, sorrowful, gloomy attitudes of the child or the schoolboy here in this poem. Then coming to, so this is what second stanza, isn't it? And here we have first stanza. Now coming to the third stanza here. Oh, see, he exclaims at the beginning of the sentence here in this stanza here, oh, that then at times I drooping sit. See, what is that? Drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, own through with a dreary shower. Okay, see the alliteration here, sit, delight, harbor. and shower. Okay, so the dry shower. Yes, interesting, quite interesting. He has followed the same technique, form, structure to the poem throughout here in all the 6 stanzas of this poem here. Okay, now look at this third stanza, how he goes with and how he deals with. See, the theme continuation in the poem is quite good. He never takes any deviations, stops, complete stops in between the stanzas that he had written in this poem. Isn't it? So now, once again, the attitude, the feeling and emotion of the boy in the school, inside the class, is explained clearly here. And the attitude of the boy every second, minute and hour in the school that he experiences is quite bad, quite sad, quite sorrowful, quite depressed, and he feels quite weak, tense, tired. So these things are explained in this stanza. Oh, then at times I drooping sit. How did he sit in the classroom? Always he used to feel depressed, tiresome, sad, weak in the school. He was sitting alone. He was gloomy, very sad. There is no active feelings, emotions in his soul and heart here. He feels that kind of situation, alone, feel lonely in the school, and spend many an anxious hour, and he was not aware. He was always fearful, afraid. What comes next? What comes next? So he was feared about the upcoming incident, bad incidents, sad incidents. He was worried about them. Like what? So next, okay, who comes next and what he does? Okay, whether he is going to punish me, okay, scold me, okay, because I am sitting lonely, because I am sad, because the very facial expression is very depressed. So he was worried, feared about his every minute, every hour that he spent in the school. The time that he spends in his school or classroom was quite anxious, fearful, fearsome. He was afraid. What comes next? What bad may happen next? Which teacher may come and punish me or scold me, or the management or the system may abuse me, beat me, whip me as such. So that is why he was quite anxious in the school. Nor in my book can I take delight. He expresses his really depression, a depressedness, unhappiness. Nor in my book can I take delight. If he reads the book, again it used to drive him to the loneliness, sad, sighing, dismay as such. So I think it's time today's children. So we will continue in the next class. Thank you. A great day.